There are three problems that I see show up time and time again with independent hotels and their marketing. And it's consistently across years of working in this industry that I've seen this. And I want to make the case that if hotels just solved these three things, that they would significantly make more money. So, not from a new platform and not from a bigger ad budget, but from fixing what's broken, where the problems are. I'm Christine Malfair, founder of Malfair Marketing, and I spent nearly a decade as a hotel GM before moving into marketing strategy. And I've worked with independent hotels and resorts for over 16 years. And there's three problems that I'm going to walk you through today in this video, and I've seen every one of them at property after property. So this isn't theory, this is really pattern recognition. Most hotels know that these problems exist. They live with these problems every day, but they just don't prioritize fixing them because the day to day keeps moving. The requests keep coming for marketing, and there's always something more urgent that's happening at the hotel. But urgent isn't exactly the problem. So, problem number one is the marketing team is in reactive mode. And this isn't their choice. This is just how things have been structured. Because every department has a deadline, and somehow anything that's hard to define or requires any creativity ends up on the marketing team's desk. The restaurant needs a flyer, the spa needs a flat sheet. Maybe there's a last minute promotion that needs an email campaign. Owners want a report by Friday. There's always something. And here's what gets buried beneath all of that: the website optimization, the booking flow fixes, the content strategy, the work that actually drives revenue. It waits because it's not attached to anyone's immediate deadline. It's not the loudest voice in the room. And so when everything is urgent, the work that compounds itself gets buried and revenue suffers for it. And maybe that feels pretty familiar. I know it does for me when I was in my earlier days in marketing. Now, problem number two: marketing has trouble showing its value. So this looks like social media reporting on impressions and the CRM reporting on how many emails went out. And the OTA dashboard shows a booking volume, but the direct strategy doesn't have a number. Three reports, three formats, three different stories, and none of them connect to the commercial goals that the hotel is actually trying to hit. So, what happens? Marketing presents activity, leadership sees numbers, and nobody in the room can draw a clear line from "we ran this campaign" to "here's what it did to our demand." And oftentimes that is more difficult to determine. And marketing ends up just justifying its existence in every review, in every PACE meeting, instead of building upon wins. And it's exhausting and it is avoidable. And now, problem number three: the team is executing without a strategic filter. So many DOSMs have come up through the sales side of things. They're really strong at pipeline and outreach and closing and relationship building, which are all genuinely valuable skills. But the digital landscape has shifted. How guests discover and make decisions to book your hotel has changed. SEO, content strategy, brand positioning, AI search. This is where awareness begins now. And when that expertise is lacking, although to no one's fault, the team is working hard really without a core direction. They're executing without a clear sense of what the right work for the right time looks like, or how it connects to what the hotel is trying to achieve, its commercial outcomes. So here's my take on all three. There aren't three separate problems. They're the same problem wearing three different outfits, if you will. They all point to the same gap. the absence of a strategic layer in independent hotel marketing. Someone whose job is to define what the right work looks like, filter out what doesn't deserve the budget or the attention, and then connect that activity to commercial outcomes that ownership and leadership can actually see very clearly. And when that layer exists, the reactive cycle breaks, the reporting makes sense, and the team knows what they're working towards, and the numbers start to reflect that. So here's one thing to take away from all of this: look at your last quarter and pick any 2 weeks and map what your marketing team actually worked on, and then ask how much of that time was spent on revenue generating work versus reactive requests. And maybe you don't have to go back to 2 weeks. Maybe you can just think about the last month. Maybe you already know that answer. Um, and most hotels find the split is, worse than they expected when they sit and look at this. A lot of properties are in reaction. They're just keeping trying to keep all the balls in the air, which is what happens. And that gap between what the team is spending time on and what actually drives revenue is where the money is being left on the table. So I actually wrote a full article about this very topic because I felt like there was three problems that hotels experience. There's typically three solutions that they try and fix things with, and there really is just one thing missing. So in order to save yourself a lot of time and a lot of potential effort down the road, maybe go check out this article. Take a couple of minutes to read through it. And if you want to talk about what this might look for your property or how you would like to explore the opportunity of getting a more strategic direction in your hotel, you can book a discovery call with me. We can chat about your hotel. We can talk about whatever's on your mind for your property, your goals, maybe your challenges, and you can do that at malfaremarketing.com. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that it has helped you get more revenue from your marketing.